crickets this big. And what's the first thing that you think about doing when you catch something this magnificent? Is deep frying it in motor oil. Like, you realize just called Cricket Tune from Pokemon, and the first thing that comes to your head is delicious. And wherever that you acquired this behemoth of a bug, please give us the coordinations so we can drop a nuke on them. My mental capacity couldn't have dinosaur crickets flying outside. And I'm thinking it's fake until bro took a succulent munch out of this cricket bag.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG videos, Facebook, anything weird, unusual, unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. I just want to thank the Secrets Man who's watching the videos entirely. Commented down below. I greatly appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Let's seek the truth.
These two women prove we live in a matrix. So we have two mysterious women coming up to these people's front door. Watch.
Okay.
It is freaking creepy. 8:41. Somebody knocks on the door. And then, hold on. Check out their outfits.
This is them leaving.
Two different dresses from what they were wearing.
It's nothing compared to what they were wearing.
And we saw them. They had polka dots. They had the dresses from the
Those are two different dresses.
We literally just saw them and they were wearing.
And like, go fast forward, like it changes color.
There's no way.
Right as soon as they
Right
get
there.
over there on
Yeah.
our porch.
What the heck is this?
Whoa.
Is this at 8:41?
Look, they
And they
And
said
then
they were
that's-
missionary, you know.
but missionaries don't come
This
at 9
has
p.m.
gotta be a
That's-
And I asked them, you know, that, you know, it's late. And they left. And he said, I'm sorry, not
Say
trying to be
weird.
rude.
When was the last time you saw 50 Cent? Why do I ask? Because there's a viral photo of him going around that has left his fans in total shock. Why? Because he shaved off his signature beard. But that's not the only thing. Fans are now saying he is unrecognizable and has aged significantly. As a matter of fact, take a look at this. Who is that? Fans would like to know. As you can see, the beard is gone, and he does look significantly older. This is a photo of 50 Cent just a month ago, August of 2025. How do you age that quickly? I mean, if you Google how old Curtis
50.
Jackson, aka 50 Cent is, he is 50 years old. But fans are still claiming that that's not him. Other photos of 50 Cent show him significantly aging. But the question his fans continue to ask is, how do you go from this in August of 2025 to this just a couple of days ago, September 2025? So I guess my question to you is, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity, aka rapper? Or is there something else going on with 50 Cent? Should we be concerned? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
In case you did,
I don't think that was going on with him. Isn't he getting prepared for like a role? I heard he's in the new Street Fighter movie. So you know these actors, they gotta prepare for the role. I think that's why he cut off his beard as well. So they be going through these freaking physical transformations. Him and The Rock is just like 50 Cent and The Rock back to back. They just don't have their signature looks, but it's, I guess, for the upcoming roles. Or I could be wrong. Who knows?
no, we have some crazy things happening in the world right now. Illinois became the first state to ban AI therapists. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good idea because, yeah, that's getting out of hand. A family's ash spreading ceremony was derailed by a Spotify ad for stuffed poop toys. It was during a Frank Sinatra song that they were playing while doing this.
This is the quickest way to clear out stuff poop.
The #1 food for regular beans.
A 58-year-old grandmother from Canada currently holds the Guinness World Record for the longest abdominal plank by a woman, holding it for 4 hours and 30 minutes. I could probably do it for about 30 seconds and then I'm done. So bravo. What's your secret? Abby and Brittany, who are two well-known conjoined twins, had to pay 2 separate college tuition fees, but now earn only 1 salary at their job. A Mexican church made millions of dollars after announcing they were selling land in heaven for $100 per square meter. The pastor in charge said that he had permission from God, and they're even accepting Apple Pay. Wow, how convenient. Because all of that makes so much sense. A high school in the UK delayed its start time from 8:50 a.m. to 10 a.m. and this led to over 50% fewer illness-related absences and a 12% rise in exam success over a 4-year period. I feel like I would have done so much better in school if school started at 10 a.m. Maybe all of life should just start at 10 a.m. every day. I think that'd make things easier. Kind of makes sense, especially since teenagers usually need more sleep than adults. Would you want your school to do that? Or would you, I'm curious even like from a parent's point of view, since I'm a parent now, like would you want your kids to have that? I think it'd be good for my kids.
What the fuck is the government gearing us up for, y'all? They just released this video of a UFO. They said this joint just took one of our best missiles and it just kept flying. This is the orb right here, y'all. And the missile that the military shot at this joint is designed to tear through tanks and bunkers. Y'all, watch this shit. Boom.
Still going.
And that joint bounced off and kept moving like Marshawn Lynch. All I know, y'all, is that shit is not man-made. So what I'm trying to understand is, what kind of fucking technology can just get hit with a missile and keep moving? That shit don't make y'all mind like, what the fuck is really going on? Let's just say hypothetically that this is some sort of outside being. If that joint is able to take out one of our best missiles, what you think they gonna do if they come here on some bullshit? Nigga, we all might be fucked. My question is, why is this footage just coming out now? They had this shit for a while. Are we finna see something we're not supposed to see? Like, are they preparing us?
Could be.
Because like I said, if they've been sitting on this for a while, what is making them disclose this shit? We've been asking these questions. So why now all of a sudden they like, here, the pressure's too much. We're just gonna let y'all see what's going on. I'm not no fool. Does this have something to do with that AI Atlas shit that's supposedly supposed to fly past Earth and supposed to have like little mini probes or some shit? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
Chernobyl, your skin
Scary.
will fall off, your teeth will fall out, and your organs, they will fail. In 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you just how bad the Chernobyl disaster really was.
It's now clear that the Soviet Union has suffered one of the worst disasters in the history of nuclear power.
It will not be safe to stand in Reactor 4 for 20,000 years. That is how long the radioactive fuel will remain dangerously hot. The explosion left graphite on the roof. Standing next to this graphite for just 2 minutes would mean your organs would fail within days. The poor firefighters, they were sent in with zero protection. They moved radioactive debris with their bare hands. Many died within weeks, essentially being cooked from the inside. The elephant's foot is the most dangerous object on Earth. This radioactive lava would kill a person if they stood next to it for just 30 seconds. The radiation released from Chernobyl was 400 times worse than Hiroshima, and the red forest is still glowing hot with dangerous radiation. It's pretty safe to say that Chernobyl remains one of the most dangerous places on Earth.
Midnight Connection.
Don't go there, bro.
One of the world's most sacred locations is now being turned into a luxury tourist resort, and people are pissed. So you know in the Bible when Moses goes up the mountain and gets given the 10 Commandments? Yeah, well that's here, Mount Sinai. And not only do its grounds hold significance for Jews, Christians, and Muslims, but it's also home to the world's oldest continuously inhabited Christian monastery, built nearly 1,500 years ago. However, all of this came under threat in 2021 after the Egyptian government launched a giant tourism project called the Great Transfiguration. Now, they said that they would be constructing on the sacred grounds of Mount Sinai luxury hotels, roads, shopping malls, theaters, new residential neighborhoods. They'll be expanding a nearby airport and even putting a P square right in the middle of this holy site. It'll boost the economy, attract millions of tourists, and even become a spiritual hub to promote interfaith unity. But others like UNESCO, World Heritage Watch, and even religious leaders argue that this is pure propaganda, saying that this project is wrecking the sacred landscape. They claim vibrations from construction threaten the monastery's ancient walls, new roads and hotels are erasing traditional architecture, and there's even a local tribe known as the Guardians of St. Catherine, who have protected the monastery for centuries, that have now had their homes and tourist eco-camps demolished with little or no compensation. In fact, they've even been forced to take bodies out of their local graves to make way for a new car park. As of right now, the project is steamrolling ahead, but the question is, will this resort truly be a gift to the world, or will it do irreversible damage?
These two interviews from the documentary were taken years apart. So when she's in the pink and she's like, I loved my mom more than anything, and everyone's like, what is wrong with her? She is so blind. This was taken years ago. And then when she walks into frame in the gray hoodie and all the interviews in the gray hoodie were done, that was the most recent version of Lauren that we have. And I also think the fact that she decided to go to college for criminology is so interesting and very telling about where she now stands with the whole situation. And it's like, why wouldn't they disclose this? Why would they just like make us think that these are the same timeline? Because like this documentary is for entertainment purposes at the end of the day. Yes, it's true crime. Yes, this stuff really happened, but they just want to piece together the most entertaining version of the story that they can give us. She's like 18 now. And if you were to watch the documentary with that in mind, it's so clear. So when she's like, I just love my mom and I just want everything to be okay, that's because she's still processing everything going on. And I mean, she literally says while she's in the gray hoodie, I don't want to see my mom while she's in prison. I want to see my mom when the time is right. And she can even admit that it would be really hard to see her, but she would feel more relieved. Like she has a much more clear mindset in these interviews. In this interview, in the younger version of her, she is trauma bonded to her mother. Her mother traumatized her, but at the same time, all she wants is her mom. Here, she's a little more older, she's more mature, she kind of has more clarity on the situation. Let me know what you thought about it and follow for more true crime.
You guys, that case is still freaking crazy hearing that to this day. I didn't even know there was two timelines, man, until I saw this clip right now. Yo, mom.
To hear about that interstellar object coming into orbit. Yeah. The lights that you're seeing is caused by different exposures. So each dot represents its speed and rotation. So it's outside of our solar system right now. It's entering our solar system, but it's moving retrograde. They've observed it accelerating and slowing down. It's named 3I Atlas, 7 miles in diameter. So it's bigger than Mount Everest, making it the largest interstellar object ever spotted. It's traveling at 130,000 miles per hour. This is what's also super weird, that it's almost like it's directing itself to where it's going to use the gravitational pull of Mars, and I think Venus, to basically slingshot itself around the sun. October 29th, it's basically going to go dark behind the sun, and they don't know what's going to happen or what path it's going to take when it exits rotation around the sun. Like, it could be headed straight towards Earth.
Dude, what if it just comes around the corner of the sun? It's just like 3 times bigger.
Dude from Harvard and colleagues have proposed that 3I Atlas could be intelligent alien technology, citing its unusual orbit alignment with Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. So they're saying that thing's crazy.
Where in the Flying Dutchman are you finding crickets this big? And what's the first thing that you think about doing when you catch something this magnificent? Is deep frying it in motor oil. Like, you realize just called cricket tune from Pokemon, and the first thing that comes to your head is delicious? And wherever that you acquired this behemoth of a bug, please give us the coordinations so we can drop a nuke on them. My mental capacity couldn't have dinosaur crickets flying outside. And I'm thinking it's fake until bro took a succulent munch out of this cricket back. We cannot have these Jurassic Park insects infect the world. And the craziest part is this is not the first time that I came across one of these devastations on the internet. I feel like the only weapon that's gonna be able to take them out is grenade launcher ammo that's been marinating inside of Raid. But I'm curious on y'all thoughts on these big ass bugs that they keep on finding in this mysterious location in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. And if you want to learn how to grow your online business using WAP, comment down below ATM and I'm sending it in your DMs.
Bro, we got giant crickets, giant stick bugs, man. They keep finding these new insect species, bro. My question is, how they stay hidden from us for so long, man? And we have technology this advanced, we still discovering new species? That's scary, bro. Something else out there, man. We just don't know it yet.
Carlos said AI will finally start a purge. It's already happening in the Philippines. They're gonna flood 911 with all of these AI calls. 911's not gonna know what call to react to. And then they're gonna go do their crime. It's be like purge. Support in the Philippines. Shout out for you telling me. They said it's already happening in the Philippines. What they do? He sent me an article, right? On GMA News. And you know, GMA News is pretty big still. And look, it says just a false alarm. Firefighters responded to a Barangay 20 Manila and thing. This was prompted by an online post showing a truck allegedly on fire. However, firefighters arrived. It was discovered that the truck was not actually burning. Authorities are calling those responsible for spreading false info. So imagine, yo, if you want the cops and all the firefighters out of the area, what do you do? They did it. Yes, man. AI, a firefighter burning. All of the people were there. Oh shit! There was probably something happening on the other side. Yeah, they're robbing a bank or something. Yes. Yo, that's crazy. It's happening. I'm telling you, bro. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. There's gonna be a huge heist.
Major warning: if you use
very scary.
ChatGPT or any AI, you need to see this video right now. AI is great, but it's also very scary. It can be used for good, but definitely be used for bad at the same time. However, it's also very notorious for giving wrong information, which of course it's not going to know absolutely everything, right? But you see, this is where the problem starts, so stick with me. It is extremely smart, but so are hackers who are able to manipulate data and get into these systems. It is pretty hard for them to get into a beast like ChatGPT, so you're probably mostly safe. However, they are finding ways to get into some of these systems and change data within. Sometimes not even fully having to hack into the system, but by just changing the data because of what I said at the start. Sometimes, a lot of the time, it is wrong, so you feed it some more information and it will then think that's right. So recently, some of these people have manipulated the system by saying this is correct, or giving them a link to a virus and saying make sure people know this is safe. So when people ask the system, oh, I shouldn't click on this link, should I? Or is this a legit text message that I got? It might then say yes it is, you click on it and then you get hacked. There is also other sites popping up with the same look, exact same name, basically copycats, which these people have managed to set up to trick people. So just make sure you double check the IP when you're going to a website. Don't click dodgy links and share this video.
This created a chip that can transfer 100 million books in under 7 minutes with just a spark. And the timing is critical because AI tools like ChatGPT are consuming so much energy that data centers now use 2% of global electricity, comparable to the entire airline industry's carbon footprint. By using light photons instead of electrons, this photonic chip bypasses the fundamental speed and energy limits that electronic processors are hitting, enabling AI systems that were previously impossible to power. Companies like Nvidia are already using the microring modulators that make this technology work, suggesting commercial adoption could happen rapidly and transform computing infrastructure. This chip could enable AI assistants that process vastly more information in real time, make advanced technology more affordable, and dramatically shrink the environmental impact. The breakthrough represents a fundamental shift from electronic to photonic computing that scientists have theorized for decades but couldn't implement practically until now. Countries and companies that master this light-based computing technology will dominate the global economy as AI becomes the foundation of every industry. Will photonic chips finally make unlimited AI power sustainable, or are we just replacing one technological bottleneck with another?
We have a massive update on the body that was found decomposing in David's car. And after what we just found out, this is not going to end well for David. So for context, yesterday, a decomposed body was found in the front trunk of a Tesla, which was sitting in a tow lot for about 6 to 7 days, and the car belonged to this guy, and his name is David, where somebody noticed that the car was emitting a stinky, fishy coochie smell. But this is where it gets even more worser. David is a musician that is on tour right now, where he sings the song In the Back of My Mind. Now people are saying that David was set up, as David has been on tour for the past few weeks, and although right now it is looking that David is innocent as he is cooperating with police, as well as he has not canceled any of his future tour dates, but this is where it gets even more insaner. And they found the body in the Tesla. The body was found wrapped in a bag, and that the body is chopped and decomposed so bad that as of now, they literally cannot identify who it is. And even more worse for David, Teslas quite literally have cameras throughout the entire car, including the front trunk. David's response so far has been to not cancel his shows. This is all alleged. Do you think David really did it?
Then and I heard the reason why I know Dave is because he made that song with Jason Wayne, popular streamer. And I just saw a couple of days ago some brands dropped him. That's scary, man. Like I said, but there's Teslas, there's cameras all over the Tesla, so we should know who did it, I guess.
The fuck on. Oh, I actually totally forgot about that announcement that was coming through to everybody's phones in the UK today, and it was a test. Test in case there is a disaster. A warning. I'm mid-driving, my phone goes into full-blown panic mode, sending all these alarms off. Then I realised what had happened. But you know what else I realised? For 5 minutes, I had no phone service. I had no signal. I couldn't do anything. Now, I don't trust the government at the best of times, and I hate to be the conspiracy theorist here, but I'm going to anyway. Is this something more? Is this them showing us that they have the power to black us out? I don't know, you know. Do we in the UK really need these warning messages for a disaster? How long have you lived in the UK, and how many times have you experienced a crazy tornado or an earthquake or something like that? Am I stupid for not turning off the alert? Yes, partly because I forgot. Will I be turning it off in the future? Yes. But I do believe that there is something more to this.
Y'all,
no service. Weird.
This right here is a depiction of what's currently going on in the Pacific Ring of Fire. Shout out to World Signs on YouTube. You guys should give him a follow because he literally be posting some good stuff that's currently taking place around the world that not too many people are speaking of. All right, great YouTube channel. But this is exactly what's happening in the Pacific Ring of Fire right now, y'all. This thing looks like it's getting ready to unlock a final boss, a final level boss. Everything is on fire over there. If it's not on fire, it's erupting, and it's just it's brewing. Something is coming from under there. Now, you guys don't have to believe me on this one, but I truly believe this has to do with, you know, Godzilla and all this type of thing. This is the reason why a whole bunch of people were getting banned off of TikTok last year when they were talking about the, you know what I'm saying, right? And then again, it's Japan that's over there. And what is Japan known for? They're known for Godzilla. So is something brewing out of there, y'all? Is there about to be a big lizard coming out of there? And with the concern that potentially Japan could get hit with a catastrophic earthquake or tsunami, people have been evacuating Japan. Even the tourism industry, beginning at the end of May, June, July has been completely dead in Japan. Even in the summertime, Japan gets unbearably hot. That's the reason why they have the umbrellas. They say even around that time, Japan is popping. But right now, it's different. It's a ghost town in Tokyo. So yes, y'all, what do you guys think, man? The shift is here, man. Something is shifting underneath Tokyo.
Just like there are earthquakes in Japan, so that anyone visiting Japan has to accept some minor risk that a big earthquake could happen anytime, including while they're here. Do you come to Japan as a tourist or not? People have to make up their own.
We're gonna keep an eye on this over here. We're gonna keep an eye on this, y'all. But let me know down in the comments. Y'all see these faces? Can y'all see faces? I see faces. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below, y'all. The shift is here. Y'all see it. Let's get it. Peace in.
Did y'all see the faces? Got a zombie leg, bro. What the hell is that?
Facts about money that will blow your mind.
Talk about
there
it.
There are 1,700 new millionaires in America every day. There are already 25 million people in the United States that are millionaires today. This means that 7.5% of the United States is a millionaire. Singapore has the world's highest percentage of millionaires in their country, with almost 20% of the entire country having more than $1 million US. Annual supply of water bottles can cost up to $200 a year, while tap water will only cost you 33 cents. King Charles made $34 million in rent income last year. Walt Disney fired the creator of Goofy because he tried to start a union. Money laundering wasn't a crime in the United States until 1986. Due to how much money they generate, 42 buildings in New York City have their own zip code. When we're tempted to buy something, thinking about how many hours it's going to take to afford that thing usually helps us stop.
You spitting, bro. You're about to buy something important. Think how many hours, man, go down the drain getting that unnecessary purchase, man. Also, Singapore, bro, 20% as a millionaire, man. Shoot, I might have to move there, bro. Man, watch out. I need to crack that. I'm trying to get into that millionaire percentage. That's insane, man. That 20% over there has millionaires. Crazy.
If you are a family influencer or post your child on social media, here are a few things you should never do in my own opinion. Number 1, might be common sense, but never post your child in a bathing suit. It's disgusting how many of these Instagram accounts exist that just solely share these types of photos and even have their own groups and communities. So just don't. Number 2, having your very young child's own Instagram page. For example, the LeBrant family. They have an Instagram account for each of their very young children, and just because it's managed by mom and dad does not mean it stops thousands of sick individuals from following the account and using their photos for exploitation. Number 3, AI generated photos are becoming more and more realistic, so think about that before you post a picture of your child eating, crying, or honestly doing anything. When it comes to this type of inappropriate content, people will do anything to get a photo. Honestly, as someone who has talked about true crime stories for over 3 years, I highly suggest to never post your kid on social media. If you have other tips, please comment that down below.
Let's talk about this brave man whose life was taken while he tried to protect his family at the Trump campaign rally. On July 13th, the 50-year-old Corey Comprador, his wife and 2 daughters attended the rally in Pennsylvania where Trump was speaking. The family sat on the stand right behind Trump when less than 10 minutes into the speech, the shooting began, and while Trump was hit in the right ear, 3 other people were also hit. These are 2 of the 3 victims, David Dutch and James Copenhaver. They were in critical condition but are expected to recover. Unfortunately, 50-year-old Corey did lose his life while he tried to protect his family. His wife Helen and his 2 daughters said that he died a hero, and the last words that he said to them was to get down before he threw them to the floor and covered them. Corey worked as a project and tooling engineer and was a firefighter of the Buffalo Township Volunteer Fire Company. After this tragic and sad incident, over $4.7 million has been donated to the victims, with Elon Musk donating $100,000 as well as Dana White and Kim Rock.
These are 8 horrifying facts
Madness,
that will
man.
probably keep you up at night. Sometimes you laugh, talk, and cry in sleep. It's often a spirit sitting beside you in bed. You are more likely to be bitten by someone in New York than to be bitten by a shark.
What?
The human head remains conscious for 20 seconds after being decapitated. If you search up this number on Google, you'll find people with their heads in fridges. Gelatin is made out of bones. That's right. The melted marshmallow in your hot chocolate is melted animal bone. It's good stuff. You have no way of really knowing if everyone experiences reality and consciousness the same way you do. If a panda finds a fresh carcass, they'll eat it. And last but not least, your phone is likely spying on you right now as you're watching this. Yeah, there's a lot more. Like for part 8.
What facts got to y'all, man? It's about the gelatin and the marshmallows for me. That was an edit.
Ended up in the hospital, and not for any reason you think. Shout out to Nat Geo for sponsoring this video. I'm gonna change the way you look at sharks in less than 60 seconds. Let's get it. The author of Jaws, Peter Benchley, not only did he regret writing the book because of all the bad PR to sharks, he would dedicate the rest of his life to shark conservation. If Jaws were written today, the shark would be the victim. The Greenland shark is a slow-burn glacier guppy that can not only live for up to 400 years, they don't hit baby-making age until 150. 150, dude, and still young. Now, there's more than 500 types of sharks, so it's easy to miss one, like the chain cat shark, which happens to glow in the dark
shark that's biofluorescence. The epaulet is a shark that disrespects the natural order by walking, using pelvic and pectoral fins to move around during low tide. Sharks use a type of camouflage called countershading, meaning if you're above them, they blend into the dark abyss, but if you're below them, their light underbelly gets lost in the light of the sky. When you've been around longer than trees, nature gives you perks like that. That's Anthony Mackie. It is, and he and Ross Edgley and many more will be a part of National Geographic Shark Fest airing on Disney Plus and Hulu. Check it out if you're ready to see sharks be anything but the bad guy. Oh, that's right.
Not me, bro. He's going into underwater with sharks. Even with the cage, man, I do not trust that one bit. I'm sorry, Seekers. That's just me.
I wasn't lying. The sharks are fine, but the ocean slamming against the Boston cage like it owed me money. So, moral of the story, I'm not afraid of sharks, just the ocean around it.
This is why you should never take walks alone at night. In 2007, a girl was on a late night walk when she looked at the end of the road and saw the silhouette of a man moving around very strangely. It was like he was doing the waltz, but he was moving towards her. So she was sketched out, crossed the road, and went the other way. After a couple minutes, she turned around to see what he was doing, and he was right across the street from her, now staring up into the sky with a huge grin on his face. Now totally creeped out, she turns around and walks about a half block before checking again, and to her horror, he's now crouched down right behind her. But luckily, he stands up, turns around, and kind of hobbles away. And then she notices something. The man had turned around and was now sprinting directly towards her. She runs to safety and now just hopes she never has to see that smiling man again.
Smiling man? You believe that story,
These are
Seekers?
scary facts about popular childhood movies, part 1. Next up, in the movie The Adventures of Milo and Otis, it's been reported that upwards of 20 cats were killed during the filming of the movie.
What?
There's a lot of speculation behind this, because the film somehow got the approval of the American Humane Society, despite not having their officers present during filming.
Whoa, man. We knew these freaking movies and TV shows had dark history, but I didn't know it was that dark. All those cats, man, just for a movie? You gotta watch what we pay attention to, man. These movies and shows. It's like it's always a dark origins behind them.
These are some extremely unsettling facts, and I found all of these on Reddit. Do you remember the movie A Land Before Time? Well, if you do, of course you remember this loving character, Ducky. Ducky was just adorable, that's literally it. But the backstory of the voice actor that plays Ducky is absolutely terrifying. The voice actor who played Ducky was actually killed by her extremely abusive father. During 9/11, we all know that a lot of emergency workers actually gave their lives trying to save people. But there was also a lot of dogs that did the same thing. So these dogs were going around trying to rescue people, but all they were finding were dead corpses. And this literally made the dogs depressed. So seeing this as a solution, a lot of the police officers and firefighters would bury themselves in rubble just so that the dogs would be able to find them and be able to rescue someone. Rattlesnakes are actually evolving to not have a rattle anymore. If they were to do this, they would become one of the more deadly snakes on Earth because they would lose the one thing that let us know where they are. So if you live in an area where there's a lot of rattlesnakes, I'd be careful because one could be lurking around and you won't even know anymore. But I'm sorry for you to make you think about that, but that's why.
Evolution, man. It's a scary thing.
This is why you should be scared of Ouija boards. A former Reddit user said that he used a Ouija board with results and let something into his home. He said that he has also been physically assaulted by this entity. He said that it started out with a feeling that he was being watched, doors closing and footsteps on the hardwood floor when he was home alone. All of this slowly progressed into being kept awake by something shaking the bed and pulling off the covers. He said that sometimes he even heard whispers of his name. The board would disappear for days on end and then show up in places that he never even put it. He became obsessed with it. Things got even worse though. He said that he began to see a black mass in the corner of the room and the silhouette of a man watching him from the doorway. One night, the paranormal activity escalated into a full-blown attack. He said that he had his hair pulled, fingers pricked, and that he was choked while being held down in bed. During the attack, he claims that this thing whispered into his ear in what could have only been Latin. After this event, he finally decided to have his house blessed. And fortunately, this entity hasn't shown back up. He said that he will never again play with one of those boards.
This is the case of
Not
the
me.
girl that vanished into thin air. Her name is Yuki Onishi. On April 29th of 2005, 5-year-old Yuki was out celebrating Greenery Day with her mother. It's a national holiday in Japan, and what they do is they go out, they celebrate nature, and they collect bamboo shoots.
So Yuki, her mom, and 60 other people were out doing this. Yuki was so excited that she found her first bamboo shoot, she showed her mother, and then she ran off to find more. That's when she disappeared and was never seen from again. When they realized that she was nowhere to be found, they actually brought in search dogs and the police. This is where it gets really strange. The dogs followed her scent to the middle of the forest and then just stopped. The scent stopped in the middle of the forest as if she had just disappeared into thin air from that spot. To this day, she has never been found and no one knows what happened. If you want to hear some theories, come back for part 2.
Do you remember this horror game that no longer exists? Let's talk about a terrifying horror experience that was taken off the web. Hotel 626. More obscure horror games right here. This game is an example of lost media and the images are a little blurry, so bear with me. Hotel 626 is a horror game that was actually made by Doritos for a marketing campaign. You go through a series of disturbing events that take place inside of a hotel while you try to escape. But the name of the game actually means more than you might think. The 626 in the game's title stands for the fact that this game was only playable between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. every day.
Really?
Meaning you had to play this game at night. There was no other choice. Now, I did some research and there really is no way to play this game today. Luckily though, footage does still exist on YouTube, so at least we have that. Hotel 626 actually made enough of an impact that it received a sequel called Asylum 626, but we'll talk about that later.
It's lost medias, man. I wonder why did they take it down, bro? It was made by Doritos. It wasn't even like a regular game company. We're gonna have to go through that rabbit hole, Seekers, man. Figure out why it got taken down. That's eerie. That's an edit.
Interesting people you've never heard of. This man attempted to dribble a soccer ball 10,000 miles from Seattle to Brazil, but unfortunately lost his life after being hit by a pickup truck only 250 miles in. Disney co-founder Roy Disney went to Disneyland every single week with his grandchildren, greeting employees by name and picking up trash to teach them the lesson that nobody is too good to pick up trash. This woman sat at a table in a New York museum for 736 hours over 3 months, allowing anybody to come up and sit across from her and make eye contact with no speaking. This French woman was imprisoned by her family for 25 years in the late 1800s without seeing any sunlight. This man smashed the door of a cupcake store, sat for 15 minutes and thought about what he did, cleaned up his mess in regret, and then stole 6 cupcakes. The store owner saw everything on camera. Instead of pressing charges, he created a signature cupcake after him.
I want to go ahead and discuss this Instagram story and what makes this diabolically creepy. So I'm not going to give the name. I blocked everything out because clearly they want to remain anonymous. Context is that somebody clearly broke into their old school. I don't know if it was their middle school, high school, whatever it was. And they posted this to their story, but pretty soon after, people started commenting about what they see in the background. You zoom in just a little bit, you would see that this person was not alone in that classroom. But before we take a deeper look at that photo, a huge thank you to Spyfly for bringing me this story. You want to look up something about somebody, you go to Spyfly. How to become this one-stop shop where you can do background reports, you can look at arrest records, you can even do reverse phone lookup. Spyfly.com is going to be the place to do it. You can check the link in my bio for more details. So back to this photo. I don't know if you can see this, but there is definitely somebody crouching in the background of this classroom. And if you still doubt me, I zoomed in and enhanced the picture for you.
Disturbing facts.
Somebody was definitely dead.
This woman passed away in her home while watching TV and was not discovered for 3 years. Girls at a nearby camp danced in the falling white ash of the atomic trinity test when it was happening. 10 out of 12 of the girls that danced in the ash passed away before the age of 40. This man donated $100,000 to UCLA to bypass a queue for a liver transplant. 186 people in the Los Angeles area passed away waiting for this same surgery. This woman survived after her parachute failed to deploy just days after surviving a gas leak at her house. Both events were found to be intentional plots carried out by her husband.
Hitler had a
Miracle.
romantic obsession with his teenage half-niece. All of the members of your group chat will eventually pass away, leaving the group to just exist forever. We are one convincing deep fake away from a global catastrophe.
You guys believe that last fact? AI's getting advanced, so it's not out of the question.
Wait. You don't remember what she looks like.
September 25th, 1981, something very strange took place up in the Smoky Mountains. This is a picture of Pauline Melton, and it would end up being one of the last known photos of her. Because while Pauline was up there, she was with two hiking companions. They described that she, all of a sudden, without explanation, just started to rapidly speed up. They even described that they called out to her. They were asking, Pauline, where are you going? Pauline. She never answered. She never looked back until she crossed over a hill. Since that exact moment, Pauline was never seen again. And to this day, they still have no idea where she went and why she did it.
Terrifying true facts that will keep you up at night, part 2. Most people would consider ducklings to be relatively harmless and innocent creatures, but they can be more sinister than you might realize. When a group of ducklings starts to feel overcrowded, aggravated, or even just bored sometimes, they will often turn to cannibalism to solve their problems for them. This is a characteristic that they share with other animals we tend to regard as being cute, such as chickens and bunny rabbits. And speaking of cute, let's talk about babies. Up until the mid-1980s, doctors would routinely operate on infants without the use of anesthetics. This is because it was thought that babies couldn't experience pain. Also in the 1980s, CNN pre-recorded an ominous video meant to be published in the event of an end-of-the-world scenario. Comment if you think that video will be published during your lifetime and follow for more.
What do you guys think? CNN made a whole freaking doomsday video. It makes you think what other freaking big media company corporations, man, have doomsday videos just ready for us. Hopefully, man, we never see that in our lifetime.
Creepy people who were caught on camera PT.1.
Yeah, why are you lurking? No. Yeah, what the hell? Another one. She can see. They know her? They knew something was up and they left. They felt that energy, Mo. Who was that running to?
Creepiest home camera footage PT.3.
Whoa. It's definitely Crouch, man. Shot caller store. Why? Yeah, that's chilling. A man breaks into the house. You don't find no trace
This
of him.
priest tied himself to 1,000 colorful helium balloons and then was found in the ocean months later. On April 20th, 2008, 41-year-old Father Adiller DeCarli wanted to raise money to build a chapel in his hometown, so he chose to tie himself up to 1,000 helium balloons and float over the ocean. He also hoped to break the previous 19-hour record, but unfortunately, things ended tragically. On the morning of April 20th, Father Adiller was fully repaired to take off, and for safety reasons he put on a helmet, waterproof coveralls, and an aluminum thermal flight suit, as well as a GPS tracker and a radio to communicate with people on the ground. Only a few hours after taking off, despite the radio and GPS tracker, Father Adiller disappeared and could not be located. The last thing that he said through the radio was that he was losing height and was going to land in the ocean. Search and rescue teams were immediately dispatched, and after 2 days they found the colorful balloons in the sea off Brazil's southeast coast, but Father Adiller was not there. Then, a few months later, a body was found in the ocean, which turned out to be him. It was reported that the priest had reached an altitude of 20,000 feet and then was blown off course by the strong winds, causing his tragic death.
So with the amount of people that pass away in hospitals,
insane.
It's no surprise that they're reportedly full of a lot of paranormal activity. Some people even say that when there are many deaths occurring in a certain area, portals are opened up. And as these souls exit this world, other things, entities, creep in. A nurse who wants to remain anonymous said that she used to work in a skilled nursing facility. She was usually assigned the Alzheimer's ward. One night, she was in the linen room stocking her cart, and she heard someone shuffle up behind her. Then, she said she felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned around, and there was no one else in the room. A female patient started to complain that there was a man coming into her room late at night. Anonymous said that she was in the Alzheimer's ward, so she didn't think much of it. To reassure the patient, she told her that she would come check on her throughout the night. She complained of this man every night for 2 more weeks. The nurse finally asked her to describe him, and the patient said, "He's real handsome, and he wears a black suit. Oh, and he's right behind you now, honey." The nurse said that this freaked her the F out. Of course, there was no one behind her. The patient died the next night in her sleep. So these nurses and doctors really do have a lot of great supernatural stories, and I don't know what to think about that one, because she was, like she said, in an Alzheimer's ward, and Alzheimer's patients can hallucinate. But the nurse did say that when she heard someone shuffle up behind her, she also felt a hand on her shoulder. And I don't know, guys, this story is pretty creepy. The patient described the man as being in all black, yet very handsome. I know that the Grim Reaper is conventionally described as being in like a hooded cloak, but could this have been the Grim Reaper? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments.
Imagine getting this mad because your bubble tea was made wrong. Police were called to this bubble tea place after this grown man had a meltdown because his bubble tea tasted too bitter. He got so mad that he threatened to throw the drink at the worker and said some very offensive stuff in Korean. Then he tried to force the worker to drink the bubble tea that he just finished putting in his mouth.
You know the reason why I'm here. You know, I do. And I explained. It was so bitter to drink. I will explain. And could you check this? Could you try this? I told her, but she rejected.
Hey, first off, there's no reason to act like this over a drink. You're a grown man.
This is the worker, and she tried to find a solution by offering to make him a new drink or give him a refund, but this man was so mad. He didn't want any of that. He just wanted to fight. The workers ended up calling the police because this man was getting pretty aggressive, and when the police arrived and heard both stories, they were upset because this man was acting like a baby over a drink. Then this man called his daughter so that she can better explain the situation because there was a language barrier, and you would think that she had more common sense, but it seems that common sense does not run in this family because she was blaming the workers for everything.
There's bigger things in life to worry about than a damn drink that's bitter.
I know, sir, you're really discounting.
But if then you go to another location, if I go to a restaurant and they offend me, I'm just not going to bring my business.
I know, that's how you handle your problem. And this is
but
how
you can't come in public and then cause a disturbance.
Sir, I understand what you're saying, and I understand that he was offended, he may seem like really offensive and you apologize, okay? But when someone is really worked up and there's no de-escalation of the problem because they are not apologizing for the service, then we only get really upset.
Okay, but he's got to be in charge of his own emotions.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like the drink, then take the refund and don't come back. It's simple. It's so frustrating to see the entitlement and lack of awareness of these people. I felt so bad for this worker. She broke down in tears and apologized to this man so many times, but he wasn't satisfied and just wanted to continue to fight. It's so frustrating to see this, especially because she's working at a bubble tea place. She probably gets paid minimum wage and she has to deal with people like this.
Bit facts. Part 510. Ariana Grande reportedly has a longtime stalker named Paige Neiman who tries to impersonate the famous singer. She's been obsessed with Grande since she was 12 years old and has allegedly undergone several plastic surgeries to look like her despite being only 20 years old. When the Titanic sank, the richest passenger on board was business mogul John Jacob Astor IV, who had enough money in his bank account to build 30 Titanics. He ended up giving up his spot in the final lifeboat to instead save the lives of a random woman and her daughter.
Hero.
These were the last photos of Garrett Miller, taken just minutes before a soccer goalpost tipped over and struck him in the head, killing him instantly. In 2013, a family dog named Killian was protecting a baby boy from an abusive babysitter by standing between them and growling at her. This made the boy's parents suspicious of the babysitter, so they hid a recording device under the couch and heard her swearing at the baby while possibly shaking and slapping him. The sitter eventually pleaded guilty to assault and battery of a child and was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Man's best friend right there, bro.
Toys that have been banned because they're just so dangerous. The first one, I don't know how this was ever legal. It was a yard dart. It had this giant metal spear on the end. You would throw them basically at each other across the yard. These caused lots of damage. This is a little sky flyer. You pulled a string, it went flying up, but the dangerous thing here is it would poke people's eyes out because they came out with so much force. This is an atomic hit. It had uranium in it. People were getting radiation. Crazy. Follow for more.
Uranium?
Things happening in the world right now. After a woman took a DNA test for funsies, police used it to charge her grandmother with murder in a cold case. A woman divorced her husband in order to be with Brad Pitt, only to find out that it was an AI scam. A Philadelphia man who was awarded more than $4 million for an overturned murder conviction ended up pleading guilty in a case where he ended a man's life over $1,200. TSA stopped more than 6,000 weapons at airport security in 2024, and 94% of them were loaded. A Texas woman has set the record for donating more than 2,000 liters of her breast milk. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, has let the world know that Stevie Wonder demoed the Apple Vision Pro. A man disrupted a TV interview where a woman was speaking on her feelings of being uncomfortable in public places, and he refused to leave. The city of Bend, Oregon recently ordered its citizens to stop putting googly eyes on statues.
Morbid facts, part 511. RFK Jr.'s gravelly speaking voice is caused by a rare neurological condition he developed in his early 40s called spasmodic dysphonia, which causes the muscles that open and close the vocal cords to spasm involuntarily. Here's what he used to sound like before this condition versus after.
And if somebody dumps something into the river that's poison, and it goes into a drinking water intake, and children drink that drinking water, that is child abuse. I think those vaccines we need to have, again, true double-blind placebo-controlled trials on that. There's 25% of Americans.
While the true cause is unknown, people who do a lot of public speaking are far more likely to develop this condition. RFK required a titanium bridge in his vocal folds to be able to speak at all, and receives Botox shots in his vocal cords every 4 months. He says it's painful to hear himself speak and feels sorry for those who have to listen to him.
What happened? What caused it? I guess that's the real question we need to be asking. And public speakers, I guess they're aware of that. Something to think about. Expert level, we know.
Bro, what happened to all of the crazy inventions we used to come up with? Pedestrian safety catchers, baby cages for those who live in a city, multiple changing rooms, projectile nets for police to catch criminals, the freaking mono wheel, and now we've got this. What the hell? Bro, they were even rethinking childbirth from the ground up. Because let me introduce you to the centrifugal birth table. It is a legit invention that was even awarded a patent by the US government in 1963. It works by strapping a pregnant woman to a table lying flat on her back, and then when labor starts, it begins to spin, like fast. 8 Gs, kind of fast. That's a fighter pilot territory. The idea was that the centrifugal force would help assist getting the baby out naturally by supplementing the mother's pushing. And then once the big moment arrives, there's a casual safety net at the base of the table to catch the newborn. There was even a little nifty bell built in that would ring once the baby was caught. You know, just in case the doctor wasn't paying attention. Yeah, actually, maybe on second thought we're better off with this.
Unexplained is a camera that will make you question literally everything. This is a video of the president. Now, at first I didn't see what was happening here, but I slowed it down and zoomed in for you. Something's coming out of his sleeve. It looks like a little snake. What is this? Follow for more.
What was that, man? You know, people in power to be having some strange things goes on around him, but there was definitely something, man, that was coming out of his freaking coat jacket.
25 just got even crazier, part 9. Firstly, Mark Zuckerberg recently had a meeting with Meta employees and told them that everything I say leaks. It sucks. Well, and you probably ask, how do I know this? Well, the meeting's audio was leaked. Next, a man in the US was just arrested for the death of his own friend who claimed he could dodge bullets while they were intoxicated. Unfortunately, the man could not dodge bullets, and it costed his life. Finally, astronomers just discovered an asteroid named 2024 YR4. The good news is, it has a 99% chance of passing by Earth safely. However, the bad news is, it has a 1.3% chance of hitting Earth in the year 2032. But guys, let's not really worry about this until the year 2032 then.
This is why you should always lock your doors. A man in Venezuela was woken up in the dead of night to a strange haunting whistle. At first, he thought it was his mind playing tricks, but then he heard it again.
You hear that, right?
Dragging footsteps echoed through the silence, creeping towards his room.
Closer and closer.
But as whoever's outside arrives at the door, this happens. Something tries to get inside. The man believes he was visited by a Sipon, a wandering spirit of death from Venezuelan folklore, known to enter homes with open doors. The further it sounds, the closer he is.
Facts that might ruin your childhood. Most of your favorite animal actors are probably dead. Roald Dahl, the famous author of books like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, was actually really racist. He was known to be very hateful towards Jewish people. In reality, Pocahontas was 10 and John Smith was 28 years old when they met. And if the movie Finding Nemo was scientifically accurate, then Nemo's dad would have become a female after his mom died and mated with his son.
What? I had no idea a clownfish could even do that. That really just freaking made me question my whole childhood, man. The more you knew. That's the White House gate. He said, yeah, let me not do this.
Oh yeah. Look at the ducks.
On sight. Got someone on the roof too? Oh yeah.
Guys, this area's gonna be closed. Start going either way. Thank you. Thank you.
Extreme plastic surgery fails.
It went through with that.
Nobody has been able to explain this creepy viral video. For the past 11 years, a man who runs a TikTok account by the name of Dude, My House is Haunted has been pretty confident that there has been some paranormal activity within his home. He claims that ever since his wife passed away, there have been some strange and unusual things going on. So eventually he decided to leave cameras out and record what was happening and post it onto TikTok, which is the footage that you are about to see. In this video you can see a chair seemingly moving on its own. It moves somewhat slowly until it suddenly is violently pulled into the corner by the kitchen. A mysterious shadowy figure can be seen moving behind the chair, and then suddenly out of nowhere the chair is thrown into the kitchen. Now of course we're not really sure what happened in this video, but I'm having a hard time coming up with an explanation for this one.
Could be edit. Somebody could have been pulling it. That's the shadow.
Forbidden places that you can never visit. Number 1, Area 51 is a highly classified US Air Force facility that has been associated with UFOs, strange government cover-ups, and potentially testing alien technology. Although no one knows for sure what exactly goes on here, what we do know is that the facility itself is actually quite small. But the restricted area in total is about 90,000 acres of land. Next, Banga Fort is said to be the most haunted place in India. According to legend, there was a beautiful princess named Ratnavati and she lived in this fort. Many men wanted her hand in marriage, one of whom was a black magician named Singya. The princess however rejected Singya and he laid a curse on the fort which haunts it till this day. There have been numerous stories of people who entered the fort at night and were never seen again. As a result, people have been banned from entering the fort at night. Finally, the Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove is said to be a secret group of very powerful people. It's alleged that many presidents and business leaders are part of this group. Every year they meet up in the woods and perform strange rituals, such as setting fire to a big owl statue. No one else is allowed to go in or take any photos. But a filmmaker named Ron Johnson once snuck a camera inside, and he presumably caught the world's most powerful men doing all of these strange things. For more?
He's a legend, man. That's not the first time we heard a group of powerful people came together to do some weird things. You know, man. You know the other groups out there. One of the most famous. I don't have to say it.
Here are creepy and strange videos that no one is able to explain. The next time you're in your room, you may want to check under your bed or behind your wardrobe. In this video, Andy explains his life story in the video chat, but something very sinister lurks in the background. Okay, pay close attention to what happens in the back. From what it looks like, popping right behind, you can see a figure with some hair. No one is sure what it is, but it might be an evil spirit. In this video, we can see a group of kids that are going to dance next to a field while the cows observe from afar. Although everything seems normal, as the kids walk into frame, a boy with a blue shirt emerges from nowhere. Pay close attention again as they walk in. Where does he come from? No one knows. This video starts out with a girl dancing to a popular song on TikTok. However, something very strange happens behind the scenes. As the girl dances, a strange-looking pale hand emerges.
and no one knows where it comes from. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for more.
Beware your surroundings. You never know who's watching.
This man took the night shift because nobody wanted to, but a few nights later, he would find out why. Tim from the TikTok page Tim Saber got a job as a night guard at an undisclosed facility. In one of the corridors was an abandoned unit where most of the paranormal events would occur. One night, Tim left his phone to record the abandoned unit, and what he captured disturbed him. A small attic door begins to shake, as if someone or something is up there. Tim grabs a ladder to investigate. What he found is horrifying. There's something in the attic that Tim is not noticing.
I'm getting backroom vibes.
Suddenly, an unexpected loud noise startles Tim, but when he looks again, he finally sees it.
I see that? It's like a little statue. I'm gone, bro. Me personally, I'm out. Deuce.
I want to talk about the O'Fallon footage. On the eastern side of Missouri, a tape was recovered from a camera recorder of a missing man in 2002. This photo found in the footage has marked the most chilling mystery to have ever come out of this county. The man is pictured here. His name was Roy Hafer, and he was sort of an amateur investigator. You know, he would go to scenes with recent crimes, places where he could film, and he could sell the footage hopefully to a news station. And on an evening where he ventured to a hot spot where a woman had gone missing just a year prior, he would never make it home from that abandoned house. A police search was conducted by the following morning, as well as a search of the abandoned home and a search of this underpass where a significant amount of blood was recovered, but his body was not. They would also go on to find his cam recorder, where they would find that final footage. This was the face seen in the last frame of that video footage.
Just disappeared off the face of the earth? What happened?
Animals you probably haven't seen as babies.
What do you mean haven't seen as babies?
Hyenas.
I've seen a baby hyena actually. Oh, tell me that's not adorable. Why is there scary music in the background?
Camels.
Right, I've not seen a baby camel. I'll own that. Oh. Look at the eyelashes. I take it.
Hedgehogs.
That's Sonic.
Hedgehog. Oh, that looks like something else. Oh, he keeps making me take it back. Sloths. Oh my heart, I will adopt one right now.
Raccoons.
This is mine.
Rocket.
Okay, maybe not a rat. They're a bit reckless. Okay, all right, but yeah. Right, okay, you might have won me over there.
Skunks.
Oh no, there's not room for too many people in my house, and I'm enough. Oh.
I ain't getting that baby skunk, bro. If you guys can pick any animals at Dot Secrets, which one would you get, man? I'm getting a hedgehog, bro. Call him Sonic. We know, man. Expert level. Right here.
The man seen stabbing that security camera was 29-year-old Waldo Mahia. Now, the neighbors who noticed this disturbing footage actually called the police on Waldo at the time, and he was arrested. But just a few months later, on January 5th of this year, Waldo attacked a 14-year-old boy who was walking to school. The 14-year-old, named Caleb Rios, was randomly targeted. There is no prior motive to this attack, and it's still unknown what caused Waldo to snap. But Waldo approached Caleb from behind and began stabbing. And unfortunately, Caleb, the 14-year-old victim, would die from his injuries. Now, this story is disturbing because Waldo had been arrested multiple times in the past, 4 times prior to this murder, including on other stabbing-related charges. Not only had he stabbed his neighbor's Ring video camera, but he had also stabbed somebody in another completely unprovoked attack in New York City. After he was arrested, Waldo was seen screaming expletives at reporters and the authorities, and still there has been no explanation as to why he targeted this random 14-year-old kid on his way to school. If you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to the podcast Murder in America that I co-host with my wife Courtney. It's available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
This video will prove you have Fallophobia.
You passed this video before. Oh, different one. Okay. This one's kind of getting to me, man. You that high up. It's open sea. If you fall, that's game over, man.
Abandoned house of murdered family.
Going in.
This was once a loving family home, but has sat empty since the 1990s when tragedy struck. The family were brutally murdered one night, but the killer was never found. There was talk that on the night in question, there had been an escape from the local psychiatric hospital. Although this was never proven, the locals still believe this was the case. The case was officially closed in the early 2000s.
To this day?
The house now sits, beds made, waiting for the family to come home. There are even plates left in the sink. Locals and prospective buyers do not want the house because of dark figures that are supposedly seen at night.
Don't blame them. Me either. That's bad energy. Bad spirits. You good off that?
This was truly a shocking story, with an even sadder ending.
These are the
Sounds
four most
like
haunted
it.
dolls in the world. First is the Annabelle doll, which inspired the Conjuring movies, which, as you guys know, is one of the most haunted dolls in the world. She's able to not only move herself, but also move objects, and is supposedly inhabited by an extremely demonic being, forcing her to constantly be in a spirit box. Then have Ruby, which in my opinion is one of the most terrifying due to the fact that it's a porcelain doll, which all of our mothers and grandmothers have. Ruby doesn't do anything crazy, but the scariest part is supposedly the ancestor who had this doll prior passed while holding this doll, and now supposedly inhabits it. And it's a porcelain doll, which makes it absolutely terrifying. Then have Letta, who's a 200-year-old doll found underneath a house in Australia, said to make noises in the night, move by itself. And the owner has a specific account of when he was moving, he heard this doll scream while being in the trunk, screaming, "Let me out. I'm good on everything that." Then you have Robert the doll, who in my opinion is probably the most haunted and cursed doll on this list. Said to be so cursed that if you take a picture or look at him without his permission, he can curse you. And this has happened to multiple people who decided to film Robert without his permission. This doll not only moves by itself, but the previous owner has made multiple statements of hearing this doll run inside of the attic. On top of that, the neighbors have seen Robert peeking out the window in the second story, while no one was up there. These dolls, they're scary.
March of 2012,
Keep 'em away from me.
a 5-year-old girl named Maria sat on the floor of her kitchen in a city in northeast Brazil, eating an empada. Just then, the front door opened, and in walked Maria's mother. Right behind her was this young woman. This young woman wants to become her new nanny. In the past, there had been other women who would come by to be her nanny, and it didn't seem to last very long. She told Maria that as soon as they were done, the new nanny would come outside and join her. And after a whole hour had passed by, still this new nanny had not come outside. A month later, Maria was out in her backyard. She heard a commotion happening inside of her house. And then all of a sudden, these uniformed police officers came charging out the back door towards Maria. It would turn out, Maria's father, George Silvera, was not actually her father, nor was Maria's mother, Isabel Silvera, her actual mother, nor was her aunt, Bruna Silva, actually her aunt. They were instead members of a cult called the Cartel Sect. The literal purpose of the Cartel Sect was to eliminate women they deemed unclean in order to reduce and purify the world's population. They would shoo Maria out into the backyard, and then they would murder the nanny. They would then butcher them and stuff the human meat into their famous empadas and sell them to the people in town. The biggest shock of the story is actually the real identity of little 5-year-old Maria. She was actually the daughter of the very first victim of the Cartel Sect. And ever since, they had just kept Maria and treated her like she was a member of the family. George, Isabel, and Bruna, Maria's fake family, were convicted of 3 murders. As for Maria, according to recent news articles, she was reunited with distant family.
No words for that case, man. That's just mind-blowing. Truly. We seen this, man. We know what this is.
facts that'll blow your mind. A bolt of lightning can reach up to 53,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Researchers found by flossing your teeth, you're actually helping to improve your memory. Jack Daniel, the inventor of Jack Daniel's whiskey, died from kicking a safe with his foot. This caused his toe to break, which ended up getting infected, which ultimately led to his death. And finally, Dwayne Johnson holds the world record for the most selfies taken in 3 minutes with 105.
How was he doing that? He was just going like boom, 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 boom.
2024
What?
just got even crazier. Part 19. Firstly, meet retired engineer Tom Brown. And after retiring, he wanted to make a difference in the world by saving rare and lost apples from going extinct. And now in 2024, after nearly 25 years of doing this, Tom has saved around 1,200 types of apples from going extinct. You're a legend, Tom. Next, new words were just added to the dictionary, and I'm going to tell you the 3 words that really stuck out to me the most. The first one being bed rotting, which means somebody who spends many hours in a day in their bed with snacks or an electronic device. But it gets more bizarre, because at number 2 is touch grass, which means to participate in real-world activities instead of online ones. Finally, the last word is the ick, which means a sudden feeling of dislike for something or someone. So, how do you guys feel about these new words that were added to the dictionary in 2024?
Touch grass, my
I
guy.
got stalked by a coyote. Keep your eye on the background, and then what happens in like 2 seconds.
Here's some coyote advice you never asked for from a man who's never had to deal with them. Anyway, y'all know hazing? No, not the college thing. No. Hazing is putting the fear of God in a wild animal to factory reset its behavior. Here's an example. Basically, you want to give him PTSD so he doesn't come close to anything human. Basically, your goal is to have him racially profiling anything on 2 legs. Jokes aside, coyotes are naturally afraid of us. It's when they lose that fear that the trench puppy becomes a problem. And nothing does that faster than when people feed one, even without realizing it. That goes for any animal. But if you bully them on sight, you help them relearn the price of effing around. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as it's with volume and conviction. Obviously, there are exceptions, like if the coyote's hurt, sick, or with kids, and you want to fall back, or else you might have to cash that check. But you gotta think about how they see us. Coyotes have been getting generationally jumped by wolves. But they also know if they stay close enough, they can get leftovers. Coyotes basically treat us like another wolf, so if one steps up, remind him who you are, because history has proven what happens when you don't. Tourists in South Africa fed the baboons so much that they started expecting it to the point where they don't fear or respect people. That's how you get carjacked by baboons. Macaques in India have gotten so used to people that the government had used their fear of an even bigger monkey called a langur against them. But since owning a langur is illegal, yep, that man got paid to do that. So unless y'all want to be out here wearing wolf suits, get to hazing.
Who would have thought that the same guy that plays Art the Clown could pull off such an incredible interpretation of the Joker? And I genuinely believe that with the right director and the right script, this guy could actually be the real cinematic Joker. If you haven't seen the 13-minute short Joker's Wild on YouTube, please, I highly recommend it. It's freaking awesome. Because David Howard Thornton, the same exact guy who brought this sadistic clown to the big screen, can also give us one hell of a freaky-ass Joker. Which kind of feels like a more sadistic combination of Cesar Romero and Mark Hamill's version of the Joker, giving us this terrifying cartoonish performance that we haven't really seen in the live-action versions yet. Also, most importantly, the dude can laugh.
He nailed the laugh.
Yeah, that'll do it. Even the way that they designed him in this short, it feels like they ripped him out of the cartoon and put him into this world that just feels so uncanny. But seriously, go watch the full short on YouTube, because I'd really like to see what could be done with this version of the character.
We've already talked about this gigantic Moby Dick animatronic that is under the water and has been there since the 60s, but we're going to talk about it again because I had a nightmare about it, and I'm making that everyone else's problem. So yes, this gigantic Moby Dick animatronic was put there in, I think, 1967, and it has since sunk and is still under there. This is a photo taken in 2005 of it just completely submerged underwater. People on YouTube actually have videos of them diving under there, and it's just like a carcass of itself, and I don't even want it. You can't see it very clearly because it's so murky. But like the first thing that started going bad on this animatronic was its jaw was so heavy that it couldn't sit all the way up, so its jaw is eventually what brought it down. Like its gigantic heavy jaw just made it sink to the bottom of the lake. Like, see, here's it when its jaw was completely down and it's just sitting completely up like that. It used to come up and down. I'm going to show you a video later, but this is it without its jaw, and it, And yes, this thing is absolutely huge and life-size. Like, here's it with a boat of people. Ew. Here's it when it was being transported into the water for the very first time. Look how tiny these people are in comparison to this gigantic, huge whale animatronic. Whales are my worst fear of all time, but a whale animatronic completely submerged underwater. Miss me with that. Like, of all the animatronics that I have ever covered on this channel, this one scares me the absolute most. I cannot imagine falling in that water with that decayed, horrific, huge fake whale. I would cease to exist. Like, it looks so sad too. Look at Pookie. He looks so sad. So watch this video of it moving and let me know how you feel. Also, if TikTok is banned, please follow me on my YouTube account. It's the exact same name that's on here. I'm going to be doing this exact same thing in the form of YouTube Shorts. I really hope that doesn't actually end up happening. But if so, please check me out on my YouTube. I love you all. Watch this.
Like, imagine that. Coming out of the water, you think that you know it's an animatronic.
This whole celebrity idea is eroding. The whole fame idea is eroding. That shit was sold to us, y'all. You got people out here that are human, that are acting every day of their life. They're not even real. They just on NPC shit. Every day they acting. They don't even know the world is a stage, dog. And it's a lot of terrible actors. It's a lot of terrible actors out here. The world is a stage. There's a lot of terrible fucking actors, dog. And then I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it, dog. I'm just gonna say it. I tried to tell Spice beforehand I said it, but the whole idea of celebrity, bro. If you're not a real person and you can't stand on your morals and principles out here, move out the way. You can't stand on any principles and morals out here as a person that's trying to see this world become better, move out the way for the time being. I'm not paying attention to all the, the beefs going on or,
So scientists just proved that smiling is a universal language after they see grass cells smiling under the microscope when it rains. And not only under the microscope, people have also seen their plants from their gardens smiling. I don't know about y'all, but I need my food to have a smile on it too. And the craziest thing is, I'm not even surprised. This is what the creator, God, left the blueprint, putting a signature on it. Designed the code for happiness to be a smile. You even see our pets like cats and dogs. If you got them, you know that they smile when they happy. For the people who skeptical, why does this look like a smiley face? It could have been any other geometrical shape, but it's a smiley face. Because obviously the plant is happy that it's getting water. There are literally dozens of Bible verses that tell you to be happy. Like a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up bones. Remember, God didn't give us a spirit to be sad and depressed. He told us to be happy. Even the plants know it. I'll let me know y'all thoughts on what y'all think about plants smiling under the microscope in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. If you want to learn how to put a smile on your face because your content is making you money, comment down below hub and I'm sending resources in your DMs. Smile, nigga.
Smile.
But it's an invisible person, and they're tickling her.
Imaginary friend, maybe?
Stop. And I pray so much, it can't be no bad spirit in here. 'Cause I pray so much over this house.
Hey. You play with your granny? You play with your granny?
Her granny?
She is really interacting. Oh my goodness.
This
do you think?
artwork that was found in Jeffrey Epstein's house is incredibly disturbing. So this was actually in Epstein's mansion in New York City, and as you can see, this is a sculpture of a bronze bride hanging by a rope. All this is coming from the New York Times, and immediately when I viewed this sculpture, I was just overcome with a sense of dread. Clearly you can see that she does not look happy, and she almost looks like she's trying to escape something. Also inside of the mansion, Epstein had photos of he and Ghislaine with Pope John Paul II, Mick Jagger, Elon Musk, Fidel Castro, Richard Branson from Virgin Airlines, President Bill Clinton, which, let me just tell you, this picture is so eerie. And even a signed dollar bill gifted to Epstein by Bill Gates. Now, there were also photos of Epstein with Saudi officials like Mohammed bin Salman. And in the office, Epstein had a green first edition of Lolita, the 1955 novel, in which an intellectual develops a sexual obsession with a 12-year-old girl, which obviously provides evidence for the blackmail thing. I mean, you can clearly see these cameras mounted in rooms that in a normal house would not be there.
When the elite fully take over,
crazy.
This is what the future is going to look like. Listen.
The year is 2067. Nobody can afford to move out anymore, so you live with your kids and your kids' kids in your $14,000 a month, 800 square foot, 3-bedroom apartment that's owned by BlackRock. Right? You just got back from a long day of working at your government-mandated filming of Beast Games on Amazon Prime, sponsored by Palantir. That's how you afford your groceries at your local Lockheed Martin supermarket. You're still 20 years away from retiring. Eggs are $32 and the federal minimum wage is $10. There's a Tesla microchip planted in your head that you need to be able to vote, but you can only afford the basic monthly subscription, so you still get Papa John's commercials pumped directly into your eyeball every hour on the hour. Shaq is still the face of the company. They used AI to download his subconscious and repurpose it for commercial use, so they own the rights to him. Technically, you're leaving tonight to go on a camping trip for the one day you get off every week. The national park closest to you was bought out by Microsoft decades ago, so your ticket to entry is part of a Microsoft Suites package. Don't worry, teams can still reach you out there. You better leave soon. It's going to take 5 hours to get there. There's citywide gridlock and no public transport in every single major city across the U.S. For the working class, at least, the top 1% get the private jet and helicopter everywhere because they don't want to sit in the traffic. It's 124 degrees out. The ozone layer doesn't exist anymore, and neither do bees or glaciers. Florida's underwater. We're still at war in the Middle East, but don't worry. Starbucks just came out with some new summer refreshers. OnlyFans Orange and Prize Picks Peach. They're 176 grams of sugar, and vegetables are only for the mega wealthy. But your auto's empty, so you can sip on 3 of them while you doom scroll AI-generated content and slip into extinction.
There's a theory.
That's scary, bro. Imagine if that's actually the future, man. It sounds horrible, bro. Everything's freaking overpriced. The elite have everything, have all the access to all the resources, but the working class still struggling. I don't like that.
That the Hoover Dam is secretly a demonic throne and that the government put angels there to cover it up. When you go to the Hoover Dam, you're gonna see something really odd. There's a spot that has 2 giant winged statues made out of bronze. They look like angels, right? They are technically called the winged figures of the Republic, but this is the weird part. No one officially says what they are. They're not angels, they're not demons, they're figures. And that's not random. There's actually a floor underneath them that is a cosmic map. It shows the exact alignment of the stars the day that the dam was completed. Like they wanted like aliens or gods to find this later. You'd think it's just some like artsy little design, right? But the guy who made that design said that this is specifically supposed to last for thousands of years. Like that design was supposed to outlive our civilization. And this is where it gets a little darker. People also call this place the throne of the devil. But why would a dam need a cosmic star map and then 2 20, 30-foot bronze guardians? And then all of these like occult looking type symbols. Well, get this. So over 100 workers died while building the dam. And some people do believe that their bodies were sealed into the concrete and that they were considered to be sacrifices to bless the sculpture. And then on top of all of this, the location of these statues don't really make any sense. Like, why would they have these big designs at a power plant? And if you're religious, you also have to remember Satan was originally an angel. Another crazy thing to note is that the Hoover Dam has been featured in dozens of end-of-the-world movies, disaster scenes, and games. It has always been the center of destruction and secret technology. And then it's like, is that a coincidence, or is it programming for us to see it as the key to something? Even the name Hoover comes from a president who was involved in major US power shifts, literal power and electricity. And this makes you wonder if the government is trying to hide in plain sight. Massive monuments with spiritual symbolism built into them. Government approved, celebrated, protected, and most of us never even question it. So when you pass by and you take a little selfie, you don't even realize you are standing on what some call a throne. But the question remains, a throne for who exactly? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow for more.
I don't know about you, but myself, in my lifetime, I don't recall ever seeing so many wildfires, floods, earthquakes, and everything else in 1 year. It just seems more and more consistent with biblical times. Currently, there are multiple wildfires taking place in the state of California in the United States.
Again?
Take a look at this video. Take a look at this. These fires have currently burned over 70,000 acres at a time. Just look at this.
Scary
So
sight.
far, close to 4,000 people have been evacuated due to these out-of-control wildfires in California. And the sad news is, so far to date, 14 people have passed away due to these fires. The scary part is, as of right now, these fires are zero contained. We are very grateful for the men and women on the front line fighting these fires. So my question to you is, why are they having fires again? What is causing all of this to continue again and again in the state of California and around the world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I said it before. What the is going on with Jenna Ortega, y'all? When I did a video on this last time, people was like, oh, you tripping. Now people see what I'm talking about. Like I said before, her whole facial features is different. Her whole facial structure is different. Point in case. Look at it, y'all. Look at the major difference. And one thing I really want y'all to pay attention to is look at her eyes.
Okay.
You can see that they're way different now. These eyes look like she been through some shit. It look like that light is being dimmed. Look here. She look hella innocent, y'all. She look a little younger, but she look hella innocent. This one look like she finna morph into something, if you know what I'm talking about. Everything about this picture of Jenna Ortega looks crazy. And it's from my perspective. So y'all let me know down below in the comments. What do you think about this? Bam, boom.
Here's some. See, because what do you guys think, man? We knew Jenna Ortega, like, she blew up after Wednesday and a couple other things she was in, but she just, like, skyrocketed. So, I mean, maybe, you know, when people get that level of fame, it changes people's perspective on things.
The creepiest videos on the internet, part 10. The popular American rapper XXXTentacion was murdered on June 18th, 2018, and his death broke the hearts of many. Many people visited his memorial to leave gifts, but some people captured much more. The YouTube channel The Fam recorded a video trying to communicate with this beloved rapper, but accidentally captured this. But someone else got a lot more than this. The YouTube channel Selva the Explorer got to speak with him through her spirit box. Here's some things he had to say.
What is your favorite song that you ever recorded? What's the name of your favorite song? Are you in the Wi-Fi? Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Australia has just made history after launching their first orbital rocket
ever. And it lasted 14 seconds before brutally crashing. Well, at least it was a day for it. But it's not over. The company behind it, Gilmore Space Technologies, considered it a massive success. Because not only is this the first ever Australian-made orbital rocket to be launched from their home country, but it was also the first launch of any orbital rocket from Australia in more than 50 years. And afterwards, the company shared a statement on their Facebook which had resounding support from men all around the world, and it said, "We hit every objective even with only 14 seconds of flight, and all in time to clock off before smoke up."
Oh, if you cheating, Instagram is not gonna let you cheat in peace. They're about to blow your shit up. I'm probably gonna be the first person to let you know this, so do not shoot the messenger. Instagram just did an update, and let me say this, I do not approve of this update. Look at this shit. They just made some shit called maps in Instagram, and as you can see right here, you see that? When you click on that button, you can see everybody that you're following, any place that they are at. Oh, you ain't believe me, right? Look at this shit right here. You see my face right there? You see this right here? You see this right here? All of those are posts from people that I'm either following or follow me, and I can look on that map and see exactly where they are. A lot of y'all are gonna be in a lot of bullshit with this new update. And then Instagram got the nerve to ask you to tell your friends about this so you can know their location. So the best thing you could do is you better turn that location off. Because if you tell somebody, I'm going to this place, and they look on this map and see that you was somewhere else, you're going to be in a lot of bullshit. And the shit get wicked, because if you zoom in and actually look, you can see exactly where a person is. That means a person's house, a person's car. You can see anywhere a person is at that moment. And you see my shit right there? You see it says not sharing, right? But if you look on that map and you zoom, you can see exactly where I'm at. That's not good. Instagram is about to get a lot of people in some bullshit. But you heard it here first. But like I said, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm out.
In a word, please turn off that sharing location apps on Instagram if you haven't, man. I did that as soon as I saw that. I'm like, nope, we ain't doing that over here, man. Instagram trying to get people caught up, bro. People having your location? Nah.
World first, scientists have unlocked a new sense for computers, scent. Robots now know how to smell. Essentially, the teleportation of scent. We've already successfully digitized our senses of sight and sound by turning what we see into digital form, like JPEGs, what we hear into MP3s, and putting it all together into videos, like this one right here. Capturing our real-life visual and auditory senses and turning them into ones and zeros that computers can understand. That's what it means to digitize something. Big surprise, I'm not actually inside of your phone, but I've digitized an audio-visual representation of myself so that I can, in essence, teleport my appearance and my voice to devices like yours around the world. Osmo Labs adds a whole new dimension to how we communicate and interact with anything online by adding our sense of smell into the mix. The researchers took purple peaches, also known as a plum, mashed it up and captured its scent molecules inside of a vial. A machine then sucked the air out of this vial and used AI to analyze those molecules and map out its scent profile on a molecular level. Using this blueprint, they can print this scent anywhere in the world as a clear liquid that smells exactly like a plum. Officially giving computers a new sense and allowing us to teleport smells on top of images, video, and audio over the internet. And I think we can all see how things are going to end up when we can start smelling our messages in the group chat. Other than that, there are still some pretty mind-blowing applications for this. We'd be able to digitally store a library of our favorite scents that we can access at any time. The luxury fragrance industry would likely go out of business, as we'd be able to perfectly clone every designer cologne and perfume that exists. Virtual reality would add an extra level of immersion into their worlds, bringing us one step closer to perfect simulations and fulfilling simulation theory. And above all, computers will now have a new sense that they're able to experience, letting us know how good or bad we smell, and combined with generative AI, we may even be able to create our very own sense from scratch with a couple of text prompts.
I don't know what's going on with the weather, but something bizarre is going on. It should not be this cool for August. You know, August is supposed to be the dog days of summer, right? So what is going on? Why is it so cool for August? And it's not just in my area where I live. It's in multiple locations. It's been cooler than usual. And July this year, at least in my area, felt like August weather. Like it was extremely hot in August. So what is really going on? It really feels as if something major is coming. Something major is happening. And I know I can't be the only one that feels like this. I know I can't be. I know there has to be others out there that feel like I do. What do you think about this? There's something weird going on.
This is the
Any of you guys seek his temperature, where you at the temperatures fluctuate? In July, man, I was having some heat waves, bro, so I don't know. August is kind of feeling like it's cooler, though. Something to keep in mind.
First driverless truck fully delivering supplies across the USA. This is going to take away millions of jobs from truckers. Kodiak Robotics just deployed the first fully autonomous freight trucks operating without safety drivers in West Texas, hauling sand through 100-degree heat and dust storms on 21-mile dirt roads. These trucks use 12 cameras, 4 LiDAR sensors, and 6 radar units to navigate completely on their own, while major companies like IKEA and Tyson Foods are already using them for daily freight deliveries. The most terrifying part? Kodiak can retrofit any existing truck into a driverless machine in under 6 months, meaning millions of trucking jobs could vanish overnight. 3.5 million truck drivers in America earn their living behind the wheel, but these autonomous trucks never need brakes, never demand raises, and never call in sick. By late 2026, Kodiak plans to have these driverless trucks operating on every major highway, completely replacing human drivers for long-haul freight. While you're worried about AI taking office jobs, robots are already stealing blue-collar work that millions of families depend on to survive. The trucking industry employs more Americans than any other profession, and artificial intelligence just made them all replaceable.
There's a woman that was caught selling tamales made of human meat. Bro, you're not gonna want to eat street food anymore. She would take homeless people, lost kids. Now, she had a stand and she was selling tamales. It was a huge hit. Everyone came to her stand. They loved her recipe. But then she started running out of meat because she ran out of money. You know, she wasn't well off. One day, she saw this little girl that was lost. My God. She decided to add lost little girl to her home, bro. And used... And then, you know what happened? What? Business started booming. How? Imagine not getting sick from the tamales? People started saying the recipe tasted so good, tasted a little bit sweet, and it was very unique. Crazy! What she ended up doing, she went on a spree and kidnapping over 50 people. Using their... putting it in the food, bro. She was running this for a long time. So how did she get caught? Because there has to be a point where a man got sick and threw up. And she did get caught. Okay, so this is how she got caught. There was a gas leak in her building, and then they went to go inspect it. It wasn't a gas leak. It was the smell of rotten corpses.
I apologize for the jump scare, but the video at the end is way worse. This is Lucy, a giant fake Loch Ness monster that was actually put in Loch Ness to trick people. In 2005, a whole bunch of Scottish people, they decided to prank people in Loch Ness and make this giant 30-foot long, this is so disgusting for people with submechanophobia, aka myself, and yeah, this is disgusting. They made it in 2005 and they tricked people and they put this thing out there before sunrise. They put it in there at night. To scare people, and this is what it looks like. And at daytime, people were like, oh my God, the Loch Ness Monster is real, and it's not. It was just this monstrosity. Here's another photo of it underwater. That is disgusting. And I know the Loch Ness Monster isn't real, but like, would you consider it a dinosaur? Would you put it in the same category as a dinosaur? Because I'm definitely tagging this under dinosaur. And yeah, this is kind of what, like Nessie looks like. No. This is some guy that worked on it in the water with it, and that's how big it is in comparison, which it's 9 meters long, which is around 30 feet. It's disgusting. The full documentary about the building of it and the tricking of the people is actually on YouTube. It's about an hour long. It's called Loch Ness Monster, The Ultimate Experiment. It is fascinating. This is what bro looks like. Watch this video and let me know what you're thinking. And is this freaky or not?
I wonder how many people, man, they got with that. You know they got somebody with that, bro. It's too realistic. Just imagine see you there, bro. See you caught the Loch Ness monster.
It's weird that, you know, the Gates family or Bill Gates owns a lot of the, you know, land in North Dakota. I think that's weird. He owns the majority of the water in the United States. I think that's weird.
He does?
Whatever. You know, weird. It's to each his own. This is for informational purposes only. But at the same time, it's just like when you go to the grocery store and you see certain products that are on there that, you know, they spray with a bunch of shit, bunch of pests.
Got everything, bro. You was cooking, man. Putting people on the game. You just gotta respect it. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up in this video. Comment down below. Stay tuned for my next videos coming up. You guys are gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.